Hello everyone, welcome to another reading. We're back in the kitchen. Problem solved? I don't know. So I don't think I gave the update here, but only on my Reiki channel. So I recorded a couple of videos in the living room because my ceiling was leaking. And I was waiting for the plumbers from my insurance company to come and check it out. It's not leaking anymore, but definitely they still say the problem comes from upstairs. But as if that wasn't enough, I have since 1 week an issue with my washing machine where it doesn't want to drain. And guys, let me tell you, the way everything just came at once, I am annoyed, safe to say. So I did hear on astrology side of TikTok that April apparently is very much about like testing your faith and your patience, and when things get hard, do you still show up, you know, for the things that you want? And I feel like I'm being very much tested because literally the way I just want to lay in bed and not do anything, because I'm like, it's so many things at once. I feel overwhelmed. So yeah, today we're doing a reading on patience. Like, what does spirit want you to be patient with, or like what should you shift to be more patient, especially around your dreams, where I had a lot of momentum, like it literally like soared, and now it dipped, and I'm like, I'm trying to be very faithful here right now, but I don't really see it. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, let's just see what spirit has to say about it. Yeah, okay. The first card was the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay. Why are you avoiding your emotions? Oh, okay. So the fact that this one popped up, I'm so crazy. No, I'm not so crazy. I literally felt intuitively that the devil card was gonna pop up today in a reading, and safe to say it happened. I thought it was gonna be my own readings because the devil card literally has been coming up for the past 3 days, where I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, when is the cycle going to break? Or maybe it's even temptation, I don't know. The Magician and the Devil here, followed by the Ace of Cups, is literally, you feel like if you feel into your emotions, you will mess up your manifestations. And I know that comes from a lot of misinformation on social media, where I don't know where this idea came from. And I catch my friends sometimes do it too, where I sometimes say something, but not always, because everyone's beliefs is different. But when you think that if you're anxious, that you can't manifest, like that you constantly have to be in a high vibe to manifest, that's not true. It is not true. You can manifest if you're angry, while you're crying, while you feel like shit. Things will still manifest, because at the end of the day, it's your thoughts, not your emotional state. One thing though that a lot of people confuse, and I don't know, this might be a little mini lesson here for those, you think that your anxiety manifests certain things for you because when you're anxious you tend to spiral. That goes like, you loop constantly the same thought, that same fear, and then it ends up manifesting. But it's not the emotion of anxiety that manifests, it's the thought pattern that follows. And I feel like a lot of people misunderstand that, and not a lot of manifestation gurus or the spiritual community in general clears that up, when I'm like, it is so obvious. Because when I'm angry and I manifest something good though, like a good outcome, it's the thought, not the anger, you know. So for example, where I manifested the driving teacher that I had getting fired because he was a piece of shit, you know, he was disrespectful and all those things. And that anger, it wasn't that the anger manifested. It's like whenever I got angry, was reminded of the circumstance, and I was like, no, I don't have to deal with that anymore because they just fired him. The company itself was already unhappy with him anyways, so I don't know why they didn't like fire him from the beginning. If you only have issues with him, like, that's on you, you know. So I was like, well, let me work my magic here. And then literally 3 days later, I got the notification that he got fired. But it wasn't the emotion that manifested that. It's the emotion here brings up the circumstance, reminds you of that circumstance. Now you can play into that. You can be tempted to fall into the story that you don't want, which is the devil card here. Like literally the story against your favor. So let's say maybe money or love. What is the circumstance there? Like the opposite of what you actually want. And then you focus on the opposite thing, then the opposite will manifest because you keep stuck on that. That's the power lies in reminding you that no, I can choose what I want, you know. Whew. This turned into a little, I don't know. I hope like you get it, you know, and I will always remind you of that as many times as I have to. We have the Eight of Cups, which is freedom, letting go. Once you free yourself from that limiting belief of like, I cannot feel my emotions because it will mess up my manifestation or my goal. It's not like that. Free yourself from that cage. And you have to train yourself. That's where the patience here comes in, so for me last week, it was like a pattern of the past. For me, for example, like a big rejection fear that just kept coming up, and I had to, in that moment, be like, no, we don't have to experience that anymore. And the more I interrupted that thought, the more relaxed I got, because then that fear wasn't gripping. But it wasn't the fear that was going to manifest it. It was going to manifest like that rejection if I kept playing and feeding into the story of getting rejected. So you have to catch yourself in that moment. We have the King of Cups in reverse. Literally not looking at your emotions, not working with your emotions. We have the Five of Pentacles here, not looking at the scarcity mindset that you have. The thing is, and also Death in reverse, so resisting change and transformation. You're actively kind of like harming yourself in a way, because first of all, it's a toxic mindset where you feel like I have to be constantly high vibe. Do you maybe come from a law of attraction based community? Because that's the thing. A lot of people find law of attraction first before they find law of assumption. And I'm sorry, I don't care which feathers are ruffled, but like the law of attraction community is super toxic. Because again, like it's that like you have to be constantly high vibe to attract things. You have to be in this specific emotional state. So you feel guilty when you have a shitty day. You feel guilty when you feel fear. You feel guilty when you have anxiety. How many of you during this eclipse season felt guilty because you felt like I'm falling behind? I'm messing everything up. When literally the only thing the eclipse wanted to do was free you from those wounds, and you were supposed to feel into them, yet you were pushing everything down. That is the wrong thing to do. And now I'm not here in like a, oh, I know better than you. I'm trying to free you from a cage of actively harming yourself by not feeling your emotions, because at the end of the day, it's gonna mess up with your mental health, and then you will always feel like you're constantly doing the wrong thing and that you're never gonna get there. And the point here, manifestation should feel empowering. That's the point of knowing you can get everything that you want, and that's the goal at the end of the day. But that way of thinking is doing you more harm than good. So I need you to go after this video to purchase a notebook and actually look through your feelings. Allow yourself, if you're so scared of like things being there in the body, journaling really helps release that in that moment. And you detach and look and observe your emotions from a more neutral state, which also allows you to look at your patterns and then break those patterns so you can move forward. So only benefits here. We have the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It's your choice now. Do you still stay on this journey of feeling like you have to be constantly fearing your emotions? Or do we move on and finally accept them and work with them instead of against them? What else, Spirit? Please let me know. Also heard the name Jenna, but also it could be like Gemini. I'm gonna put these cards back. If they're meant to be, they're gonna come out again. We have the Knight of Swords. You're supposed to take action. Go forward. Like head first. There's a lot of things that you're resisting in letting go. Okay? You're kind of like frozen and paralyzed right now. Especially the Six of Pentacles is giving and receiving. So letting go of things to make space for the new mindset. So that's one thing that you should be focusing on right now. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, very nice. So there is the potential of committing to yourself and doing the things and increasing your self-love. Because maybe also here we lack a little bit of some self-love and confidence, which is why it's hard for you to trust yourself. I do have a self-love healing subliminal for those that are interested. It's on my stand store. Okay, we have the King of Swords here. Gonna have to be more observant with your life, about your thoughts, about your patterns, because only then can you break them. The Four of Wands here is you gotta celebrate the fact that you can see what it is that you could change. A lot of people feel like, I don't know what to do, because they don't actually really look at the situation. Because otherwise you would see like, it's not a fixed outcome where it just can't change, where you feel powerless. You can shift everything in the direction that you want. Therefore, allow yourself to actually see and be celebratory a little bit in the fact of, oh, okay, this is my pattern. Let's say maybe it's a fear of being seen. Then you need to start practicing being seen and showing up certain ways, you know. There's always a solution for everything. We have the Eight of Wands. Once you implement that, things are gonna shift so quickly. And for those that also have like a love thing here, where you feel like you will never get that communication that you want, it's literally around the corner. The World at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. Okay, so it's literally the cycle, the chapter about to be closed. It's just that tiny little bit of resistance that you have right now. Let me go into the Oracle decks. I feel like this is the perfect moment. Okay, traveling. If you're able to do like maybe a weekend trip or something, or go outside of your usual town or city, even if you don't leave the city but you go to a complete different side of the city where you don't frequent a lot, it's about like seeing different things, getting out of your own head and four walls a little bit, so that your brain gets stimulated and then you get inspired and have motivation. And that can literally help you shift and be like, oh, I could do this, I could do this. That's when like the inspiration flows. Then we have practice, which is obvious, you know. You gotta practice interrupting those thoughts. Can't expect like a 10-year programming to just disappear overnight. Doesn't work that way. Then we have child. You definitely need to do some inner child healing. And see how much orange there's here? The sacral chakra, which is your emotions, your creativity. So definitely listen to a sacral chakra healing frequency. Okay, one more card. Okay, we got 2. Show your individuality, or like your uniqueness, okay? This is also about being authentic. So you need to tap into your essence, your being. And look how whimsy she's dressed, like very her essence. So try to, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do you feel to yourself, to be honest, you know? So maybe this is also a little bit of more of a deeper self-love journey for you. And then we have ask for what you want to receive. And it's not even about like the universe, because sometimes also again in like this is for everyone has different opinions here. Maybe this might not be for you, but where we put so much emphasis on a higher being outside of ourselves, where we're like the person, like that higher being is the thing that gives us the things, but actually it's you. And the higher being is your co-pilot, your co-creator, the one that sends you signs when you're like me, like this video, right? Where you're like, I don't know what I should do, what's the next step? That's, for example, universe, your spirit guides, or God, whoever you feel comfortable. That's their job. It's not necessarily them giving that thing for you, because it's your consciousness that creates your life, right? That's why you're the operant power. They are the support group. And sometimes it's not even when you ask them for stuff and it doesn't happen because you didn't do the mindset shift that you need, you will always blame or feel not supported by this outside, like this thing outside of you. So ask yourself, give yourself permission to want something. Tell yourself that you're available for love or money or success or whatever it is. So you need to start feeling comfortable within yourself to say like, I give myself permission to experience this. I give myself permission to earn a lot of money. It feels strange when you first say it or think it, but that's the practice thing. You need to allow yourself, because again, it's your consciousness that creates everything. Okay, let's see what the high priestesses have to say. They were very quick with this one. As a high priestess, you receive messages in your sleep. So you probably had very crazy dreams tonight. I definitely did. I had a dream about like a high school friend that I had. I wasn't really that close with her, which is weird because she was, you know, 2 grades above me, so I didn't really see her that much when we actually befriended each other. But then she became like my neighbor. She moved into the same street as me, and I would see her sometimes. But the fact that I had a dream about her and her brother, which was also weird, you know, so very vivid dreams this night. So you probably, or like the previous night, so you probably had those too. If you recollect something, write it down and look it up. Okay, there's some hints there for you. Awaken the Kriegers. Oh my god, English, right? Awaken the warrior of light within you. She stands for your balance. Okay, so also a lot of blue tones, so you definitely need to do a nervous system reset if you feel a little bit frazzled, where you're like everything's just so overwhelming. You are the light and the blessing. And see what I said? Be ready to recognize that you stand in the middle of the universe. Again, you're the consciousness that creates everything around you. And you need to own that. You need to own that. Okay? And it takes practice to accept that too. When I first started, I was like, this is so weird, because it's kind of like feels empowering, but also at the same time, for me in the beginning at least, gave me a little bit of some pressure, because I was like, so basically I'm the reason why I didn't experience certain things that I wanted to, or why it's taking longer. And it has to do with accountability, because I didn't do the inner work that I needed and didn't apply myself the way I was supposed to actually shift it in the direction that I want to. And yeah, sometimes you have to call yourself out. When you avoid stuff, when you're procrastinating, it's on you. And as much as it sucks, that's the growth. That's the inner healing that we need to do. So, what should we do for today? There's so many beautiful symbolisms. We could do a unicorn, we could do butterfly wings, we could do a sword or a stack. Is it the stack? I don't know. Someone let me know if this is a stack or not, or if it's just a reindeer. Definitely for affirmation, it is recognizing that you are the operant power. So like that. One of my favorite affirmations is I am in control. So definitely start applying that on the daily. So in the comment section, I'm in control, with the emoji of, actually, you know, whatever you want. Because again, you're the operant power. How about deciding yourself, you know, give yourself that little power balance or power dynamic back. I hope this reading gave you the clarity that you were seeking. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye bye.